against the Cubs. Today, a rare scheduled doubleheader. Gio can't wait. He gets the call in Game 1 on Masson. Get ready for a long day and a long evening of baseball at Wrigley Field. Nats need to win one. They dropped the first two of this series. And when we go on the road now, Nationals baseball is a family affair. We start them young now, and that little guy will be a fan for life after they see what happens here today, we hope. Bob and P, welcome to Game 1 of the doubleheader. Fox has the game tonight. Interesting pitching matchups. In both cases, a veteran versus a rookie, and Dallas Beeler makes his debut Game 1 for the Cubs.
Yeah, Dallas Beeler with an ERA of over 4 in AAA, so the Nats looking to get the bats hot here in Game 1 and take advantage of a rookie in his Major League debut. Gio Gonzalez looking to follow up on a great start. Blake Treinen has pitched well, hasn't got a win yet, but Jeff Samardzija is a Cubs ace.
Treinen still looking for his first big league win. Now, Gio, quite a battle in Milwaukee the other night. Took him a lot of pitches, but he goes through 6, gives up no runs on 3 hits.
Yeah, struck out 5 Brewers, and it was mostly with the curveball and the changeup. The changeup was the best pitch for Gio Gonzalez last time out. Brewer after Brewer coming up to me the next day saying, we didn't know he had a changeup like that. It's a field pitch for Gonzalez. We'll see if he goes back to it here today. But Gio needs to have a great outing here, a big league stop job, like I said last time. I mean, you lose 2 games to a last place team, it's up to Gio to win the first one here.
And going back to 2 years ago, he's pitched 15 consecutive scoreless innings against the Cubs. But as I said, that's going back 2 years. These guys just don't see each other that often. So he's got to be an ace for the Nats and hope that Adam LaRoche continues to do damage against the Cubs. On the road trip, 7 hits, 2 homers, 4 RBIs, on base percentage at .435. And over the last 4 years, one of the best opponents against the Cubs. 8 home runs, 13 RBIs. Viva LaRoche, Game 1 coming up. Welcome to Chicago, folks. And the Cubs took the field at 2 minutes after 12. They threw the first pitch at 4 after. So we've missed 1 ball, 1 strike to Denard Spannon. Here we go. He'll pull it right side. Over to his left, Darwin Barney for the first out of the game. Nats are hitting .243. 8th in runs in the league, 11th in home runs. Ryan Zimmerman has always done damage against the Cubs. 2 hits, an RBI, a walk in this series, and looking for his 20th RBI of the year. And you see that Kevin Franzen, Nate McLouth, and Jose Lobaton are in the Game 1 lineup against young Dallas Beeler, just turned 25 years of age.
Major league debut for Dallas Beeler. Sinker 92, cutter 91, slider 81, and a split at 80 miles an hour. And if you watch his delivery, it is dead on Roy Halladay.
He pops up, Anthony Rendon, short center. Junior Lake is back in there for the Cubs after that horrible collision with the door in right center field on Thursday. Visit trainsearch.com to find your local Train Comfort Specialist dealer. Hard to stop a train, really hard. So 79 degrees, but very, very muggy here. Just a hint of a breeze out toward left center. Air kind of hanging over the ballpark here at Wrigley for Game 1. So here's Ryan Zimmerman, hitting .246 overall, .204 since he's come back. Target inside, and Beeler gets the high strike call from Jerry Lane.
Yeah, grew up idolizing Roy Halladay. He wore his number 34 in AAA. He's got 32 here, but when you watch his motion, it's obviously dead on Doc.
He went to a university that has a decent pitching tradition. Oral Roberts in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Their most famous alum, the longtime Oakland Athletic, Mike Moore. Jerry Lane, the crew chief, 26th year, has the plate. Rookie umpire Tom Woodring at first. Mike DeMuro, Mike Estabrook on the bases. And Dallas Beeler's first inning in the major leagues, one for him to remember. 7 pitches, 3 outs with a K. The start of the game till 05, and we have red carded him for letting the Cubs start a minute early, so we apologize.
Well, he's red carded himself right now, and he deserves it.
Well, and he will not be eligible to play in tonight's nightcap.
Sorry.
The Cubs have Junior Lake back in there today, and John Baker, who came into yesterday's game hitting $160, was on base 4 times, 3 hits, 4 RBIs, scored a run. So even with Gio on the mound today, Rick Renteria says, hey, you're my catcher. And it's possible, of course, he's been around a long time. He wants him handling the rookie in his major league debut as well.
Well, that and Wellington Castillo always handles Jeff Samardzija. And he's given himself a yellow card, too, and that's well-deserved.
That was an ill-timed absence.
Can't be late, meat. Let's go. Tighten it up.
Junior Lake against Gio Gonzalez.
Well, last time for Gio, the changeup was the pitch. And it all is determined by fastball command. The first fastball from Gio, 88 miles an hour right there, so we'll keep an eye on that. 6 shutout innings last time against the Brewers to get the win. 114 pitches.
1-on-1 career, 4 starts against the Cubs. And he'll get in on the hands of Junior Lake, and waiting for that is Kevin Franzen, who gets the first game start at second base.
Let's set the defense in Game 1 of the day-night doubleheader. Split job here, and Chicago, Zimmerman, Span, McLeod, outfield, Desmond Rendon, left side, Franzen LaRoche, right side, and Jose Lobaton catching game one. Hey, McLeod, little duty in right field today here at Wrigley Field. Jason Worth with the first game off.
Justin Ruggiano's had a very fine series, 4 for 9, couple of RBIs. You thought he might go up hacking, swinging the bat well, and over his last 3 games, he's 5 for 10. 4 for 12 career against Gio with an RBI and 3 doubles. The sun has burned off the clouds that have been blanketing Wrigley this morning. A bat broken right in half. LaRoche to Gonzalez, 2 outs.
We saw a few of those last time for Gio, the changeup diving down and away. And when you talk to the Brewers hitters the next day, they said it wasn't so much the changeup, it was the movement on the changeup. But it just flat disappeared. It was getting to the plate, hanging a left-hand turn, and had split action to it. And we've never seen Gio throw that many changeups, and we liked it.
2 outs, bases empty. Anthony Rizzo. He's done some damage in this series as well, 4 for 9. Most of that on Thursday when he had 3 hits. He's hitting .338 at Wrigley. Gio has struck him out twice career, 0 for 6 in the lefty-lefty matchup.
And we noted how he chokes up on the bat. He always has, but it's a little more pronounced this year. He's a little higher on the bat to get the control through the strike zone. He's kept his hands nice and loose and relaxed and away from his body in order to free up his swing. And you see his front shoulder below his back shoulder. That's to create that freedom in the swing. A lot of times last year his hands were stiff. He'd get rotational and spin out of there. This year it's been nothing but success. 289, 17, and 44. And he's the Cubs All-Star. I don't know how that'll affect Adam LaRoche. We got a couple of All-Star first basemen playing this game.
Yeah. Tough position. Maybe the toughest from which to make the All-Star team, as we've discussed in the past. Freddie Freeman, Ryan Howard putting up big numbers. 2-2 pitch.
Paul Goldschmidt.
Yeah. Slow roller, Franzen. His right foot took a little bit of a skid as he planted for that throw, and that's a 9-pitch inning for Gio. Adam LaRoche leads off. He's had a good series, and he's had a good road trip. On Masson, brought to you by AT&T, mobilizing your world, by our Washington BMW centers, and by University of Maryland University College. Gio, 9 pitches, 7 strikes, first inning. Dallas Beeler, 7 pitches, 6 strikes. And the youngster making his big league debut has to face Adam LaRoche here. Adam in the series, 3 for 8. With a low laser of a home run into the right field basket yesterday. Beeler misses with the off speed.
Well, look where Mike Olt is playing, or is that Starlin Castro? I'm not sure, but because of the base hit bunt by Adam LaRoche, they're playing him in on the left side.
Yeah, a lot of teams now leaving the shortstop at least on that side of the field. So now Castro will back up a little bit with 1 strike.
Starlin Castro playing third base right there and taking away the bunt from Adam LaRoche.
And I know you don't like the 1-strike bunt, but that's usually in at bats where you're trying to bunt, or at least bunt for a base hit, like down to the bottom of the order ahead of the pitcher. We'll see if LaRoche can drive one here.
Well, the reason he did the other day is the Nats were down by 2 and he was trying to get the tying run to the plate, and it was a good play.
Which he did, yeah.
He's swinging here.
Beeler gets the call, 1-2. He's been around the edges so far. Interesting guy. His brother Chase played offensive line at Oklahoma. Later was Andrew Luck's center at Stanford. And his brother Chase played briefly in the NFL with the 49ers. His father, a professional softball player in the past, and his mother was an all-state track athlete. So Dallas Beeler, serious pedigree as he takes the mound here. 2-2 pitch. And he threw a nice changeup to Adam LaRoche, down and away. 4 in a row.
Let's set the defense for the Cubs in game 1. Behind Beeler, Coughlin, Lake, Ruggiano, the outfield, Castro, Old, left side, Barney Rizzo, right side, and John Baker behind the plate. He had a big day yesterday. 3 knocks, the big bases loaded clearing double. Was on base 4 times and gets a start here in game 1.
He drove in half of his season total of runs yesterday. RBIs went from 4 to 8. Ian Desmond late for that one. Upper deck right side. Ian was great in the Milwaukee series with 6 for 15, but here in Chicago he's gone 0 for 7. That's the pitch he's got to lay off. And a good job to get the count back even, 1-1. Sliders, curveballs away. Steady diet. Inside the numbers with STG Inc. As a shortstop since the start of last year, Ian Desmond right there with Troy Tulowitzki. We'll see Tulo and the Rockies on Monday. Castro on that list. And then Desmond gets buzzed by a fastball. And Dallas Beeler has fanned 3 in a row.
So he grew up idolizing Roy Halladay. Check this out, folks. The truck did this for us. Look at that. If that isn't dead on, I don't know what is.
Looks like Halladay in a Cub uniform.
Both striking out Ryan Zimmerman, both on off-speed pitches. And the delivery, the motion, and so far the stuff. Dead on, Doc.
Yeah, we all used to pretend we knew everybody's batting stances on our first major league team. Doesn't mean we can hit, but evidently he's learned a little more than just the motion. And one of the reasons he slipped down to 41st round, he had Tommy John surgery while he was still in college.
Well, I'm just going to put it out there. It's a guy with a 4+ ERA in AAA, and if you're ever going to get right as an offense, it's today. You know, you haven't seen him before, so there's a feeling out process first time around, but this is a guy you should hit.
Two balls, 1 strike to Franzen. Kevin making his 25th start today. Bleachers just about full already. Cubs are averaging just over 31,000 a game. And at home they're over 500 now, 19-18. That's a great take by Franzen on a ball really diving.
And on top of that, it's one of those Wrigley days where it's a good day to hit. I mean, the wind barely blowing, and when it was earlier, it was blowing straight out. So put all those things together, and if you're Matt Williams, the Nats, you're thinking Gio Gonzalez should get some run support here today.
Franzen right to the second baseman, Darwin Barney. The Nats have gone 6 up, 6 down in the first 2 innings. Gio's going to have to be good today in Chicago.
Talked in the first inning about how Gio Gonzalez's changeup was the pitch for him his last time out. Overall, Gio threw 49 off-speed pitches in that start against the Brewers, and I went back and checked the game logs on Brooks Baseball. That is the most off-speed pitches that Gio has thrown in any start as a National. Part of that's because he had a good feel of the change in the curveball that day, but Gio's fastball velocity was down against the Brewers. He averaged around 91. Normally, we're used to seeing him around 93 to 94 with the fastball. Matt Williams said that's probably a product of Gio working back off a month on the DL, kind of a spring training, working into action, but he's got a really good feel of his off-speed stuff lately, and that might carry into today's start against the Cubs.
9 pitches, 7 strikes, a couple of ground balls, pop up first inning. Very well done. Dealing with Starlin Castro. And that was our FCA sideline report with Dan Coco. And there's a highlight that might make the Geico reel later from Ryan Zimmerman, who continues to play great glove in left field.
Well, how good was that by the Nats left fielder Ryan Zimmerman, who may be the third baseman, who may be the first baseman. Who knows when Bryce comes back, but today it's left field. Look at this running catch shoestring variety. Not a problem. You thought he was going to lay out. We've seen him do that a number of times, especially on that play coming in. Gio Gonzalez, a little golf clap for his left fielder. Nice play.
And by the way, AFCEA, the Association for Global Security Professionals. 4 in a row for Gio to start the game, and he faces Mike Olt, a rookie who's got some pop. 25-year-old. Another guy who was part of the Matt Garza deal. Cubs got 4 players for Garza July of last year. Hit a .152 in 16 games with the Rangers a couple of years ago. And Olt this year at 145, 10 homers, 25 runs batted in. So when he connects, look out. He's 0 for his last 9. Curveball, a beauty, right to the outside edge.
Mechanics look good. The arm slot looks right. A wind up, very deliberate, slow, staying back nice.
Then he drops the breaking ball down in the dirt, and the right-handed batter strikes him out.
So you throw one for a strike, and as a hitter you say, okay, he's throwing his curveball for a strike. What do you do next? You throw it for a ball. You bounce it shorter. Nice job, Gio Gonzalez, throwing that curveball in the zone and then being able to throw it out of it. The art of pitching, being able to throw strikes when you want to and balls when you want to. It's not always about pounding the strike zone.
Next up, Chris Coghlan. Two for 4 with a walk in this series, and it's outside. Coghlan checks in at 207. Had a nice day yesterday. 2 for 4. Lost a third hit he thought he had on a good Matt Williams challenge at first base on a close play, when he and Desmond ended up taking that hit away from him.
Yeah, Skipper's been on fire with the challenges lately. He's locked in. He's on one of those hot streaks he used to be on as a hitter. So we hit a few on the street here.
Curveball right in there. Gio sharp with the breaking stuff so far. Coghlan facing him for the first time.
Well, this is what they need from Gio Gonzalez today. After dropping 2 to the last place Cubs, you're staring at a doubleheader today. You have a youngster going on the mound for the second game, and it's up to Gio to be the veteran that he is and stop this thing right here.
And Coghlan taking a big rip on a 92 heater. Nats on the road 18-21. They had made it back to 500 with that win in Milwaukee Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, and now have dropped 3 in a row. Nats haven't had any real long losing streaks this year, and their season best winning streak 4. They've done that 5 times. Heater outside corner, hitter gone, and so are the Cubs in the bottom of the second. So Gio Gonzalez 6 up, 6 down with a couple of Ks on a well-placed fastball.
I love it. We get some good seats on June 30th, and you also get a Bryce Harper bobblehead doll. First 25,000 fans get that right there. June 30th, 7:05 start against the Colorado Rockies. That is sponsored by PNC Bank for the Achiever and you.
Maryland's a Big Ten team now, and of course, over the years, Chicago kind of the official headquarters for the Big Ten with the offices and the league based here for many years. Northwestern, local school, part of that. And Maryland in the Big Ten. It's hard to keep up with that college landscape. McLeod, Lobitone, Gio, top of the third. 23 pitches, 16 strikes from Dallas Beeler, and he misses inside.
Probably don't panic first time around if he goes through the order. Second time, that's when you start thinking, okay, it's a recon mission. First time, they're trying to find release point, seeing what his stuff does. Not a lot of video on guys that pitch in AAA, so this is all, good old-fashioned baseball. Feel him out first time around, see what his stuff does, and hopefully get to him second time around if you're the Nats.
Mercedes-Benz on the pitch track without pitch on the outside edge, and a really good swing by Nate McLeod, taking it the other way. Takes 3 innings. The Nats get a base runner.
Some fan right down below us just said, AFP, there goes the no-hitter. And he's right. Nate McLeod, first knock of the game. And I think that's the first time he's joined the There Goes the No-Hitter club. Tony Gwynn would have been proud of that swing. Little 5.5 hole action for the Nats' first knock here today.
Lobitone is next. Nats need some offense from the bottom of their order like the Cubs got yesterday. Jose 1 for his last 22. So they put Beeler on the stretch for the first time. Ball 2.
Another interesting side note right here. Nate McLeod studies video of pitchers to get tendencies in their moves so that he gets good jumps at first base. That's why he has such a high steal percentage throughout his career. I don't know that he could do that today with Beeler, so he's probably doing his homework right now as we speak.
McLeod 4 for 5 stealing. Short lead for him. Lobitone, hot shot. And the Cubs are going to turn their 5th double play of this series.
Hit it hard, but it's just right at Darwin Barney, and that was a tailor-made 4.63. Castro came across a little soon there. I think Barney gave him a changeup, but it didn't matter with Lobitone running.
Yeah, Nate McLeod, he froze for a minute thinking that might get to the second baseman on a fly. He had no chance to get there and break up anything. So here's Gio. Two for 18, one of them a home run this year, a couple of RBIs.
Pretty good hack.
Ball, yeah, right into the gear of John Baker.
And on top of that, he runs into Gio Gonzalez after. Let's see what it, or hear what it sounds like. Let's see what it looks like, and hear what it sounds like.
Wow.
What you didn't see is him picking up the ball and running right into Gio.
Joe Garagiola used to say those will knock a few fillings loose. Meanwhile, Beeler in his major league debut has faced 9 batters in 3 innings. history. And they honored Ron Santo here, one of the best Cubs ever, really. For 50 years in baseball, that happened 4 years ago on June 28th. Ronnie won 5 consecutive Gold Gloves. He hit 340, hit 342 home runs, drove in over 1,300 in his career. Finally finished his career up as a Cubs broadcaster with our friend Pat Hughes, and he had played for the White Sox the last year of his career, ironically. 9-time All-Star, and they retired his number 10, forever immortalized on the flagpole here and with a statue, a really beautiful statue, out by the right field corner here at Wrigley Field.
Hit 304 times. He hit 30 home runs 4 times. And we were here when they unveiled his statue 2 years ago in 2012. Big ceremony out on the corner of Sheffield and Addison. That's where his statue is. And it was a pretty touching moment with his whole family there 2 years ago before the game. And we were lucky enough to see it.
Yeah, it was very cool. Hall of Fame Golden Era Committee inducted him after his death to Cooperstown.
And if you ever listened to him do a Cubs game, it was pure joy, pure agony.
Him and Harry Carey on radio
pure
together.
Entertainment. He let you know exactly how he was feeling all the time. And it was exactly how every single Cubs fan was feeling at that time. And I love listening to him. I thought he was great.
Bottom of the third, Darwin Barney, John Baker, Dallas Beeler for Chicago. That's a change-up that'll fool anybody. 82 and pretty good contact guy, way out ahead. Nissan will track it.
Yeah, that was the pitch last time, and it was a good one right there. 82 miles an hour. He saw fastball, pulled the string. Nice.
Barney in the series, 2 for 7 with an RBI. Barney 2 for 6 career against Gio, one of 4 Cubs who have faced him before, along with Ruggiano, Rizzo, and Castro, who've all been retired. Cubs in the league 14th in batting average at 234, 13th in runs. And a breaking ball away, Adam LaRoche right there. So 8 and 9 coming up, and FP, we talked about this after the game yesterday. You had some pretty strong thoughts about what you're supposed to do, and at least have that mindset when you play a last place ball club.
Yeah, if you're a championship team, and the ones that I played on, when you came into town and played a last place team, you didn't want them to think they could play with you for a second. There's no way you want to give them any confidence to think these guys aren't as good as we thought. And with the Oakland A's, we'd come in and beat somebody 10-0 on the first night. So we didn't just beat them, we beat their will to win. And when you do that as a ball club and you come into a team that you're supposed to beat, now they go in their clubhouse after the game and say, oh, these guys are good. I don't know, man. They're everything we thought they were and more. And you already have an advantage. But if you're a first place team and you come in to play a last place team and they beat you a couple of times, well, now they're going back in their clubhouse saying, well, these guys aren't as good as we thought. And you can't just throw your uniform, air quotes, on the field against a last place team and expect to beat them. You have to come out and take care of business every single day, no matter who it is, because it's the big leagues and teams are going to be ready to beat you. Great teams, championship teams, come into a last place club. They beat them. They beat their will to win. And like I said in the post game show, they look down from the plane when they're taking off, and the town is smoldering because they did so much damage in the 3 or 4 game series they was there. That's what taking care of business is about if you're a championship team in a first place club.
Right now, the Nats have been tied for first again by Atlanta. We won in Philadelphia last night.
And I just quite frankly haven't seen that swagger, that confidence, or that step on the throat mentality from this team on a consistent basis this year. It's been there at times, but if you want to do the things you set out to do in spring training, it has to be there every single day. There are no days off.
That went up onto the roof by John Baker with the pitcher to follow. And then the Nats come home and face a Colorado team featuring Carlos Gonzalez and Michael Kadire on the DL right now. And they're struggling big time in their division. And then the Cubs come right in after them. And it's Baltimore for 4, Philadelphia on the road, and then the All-Star break. So on the heels of 2 out of 3 in Milwaukee, this would have been a great series for the Nats to really take off and then have a good homestand coming up. They can still come back and split this series. And a 3-2 with 1 out. Gio keeps throwing strikes, and he gets to make this play himself.
And I think there's one guy that can change that, and it's Bryce Harper. Stay tuned. When the Nats win, everyone wins all season long. When the Nats win and score 7 or more runs, you get 50% off regular menu prices at papajohns.com by entering promo code NATS50. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, official pizza of the Washington Nationals. There's Bryce. He's on his cell phone right now. That's thumb rehab, folks, right there. He's rehabbing his thumb.
Dallas Beeler. First pitch he sees in the major leagues, and he gets his first career hit. Second knock by the Cubs today. And the Nats will throw it over to the third base dugout.
That's great. He's telling the rest of his team, hey, it's not that tough. Look, it's easy. You just swing, ball goes up the middle. First knock of the day for the Cubs by rookie Dallas Beeler.
How about that? Yeah, it's the Nats who had a hit previously, not Chicago. So top of the order, here's Junior Lake. And he goes up pumping, but he got a changeup. Popped up to Kevin Franzen, first time up, short right field. And after the game yesterday, Theo Epstein was quoted as saying, we need to consider putting padding on those outfield doors that he crashed so heavily into Thursday night.
Junior Lake fine. Door, I don't know. Look at the damage he left down there. Basically broke it down himself. That's a large human being standing in the batter's box, and a great effort by the Cubs center fielder. No fear. You love to see guys going all out. You like to see him play with no fear.
And I don't know how long it takes to order something like that, but I would make that a priority for the next homestand. Get those things padded.
Yeah, just go padding.com. Be here in 2 days.
Swing and a miss and a hard breaking ball. 3 Ks for Gio. He's only given up 1 hit through 3. So both pitchers matching up beautifully here. The veteran and the first day guy in the big leagues.
Dallas Beeler faced the minimum so far, and that is Ed Rooney on the right and Abe Froman, Sausage King of Chicago, on the left. And we could use one of these today because it is freezing cold here as we sweat through our shirts. The first 15,000 fans will receive the Nationals travel blanket. That's presented by United Airlines on Tuesday, July 1st against the Rockies. You can get it at all gates while supplies last. Call 202-675-NATS for more information. Save Ferris. That is a great t-shirt, and I want one.
Top of the fourth, Denard Span. Pulled the ball, grounded out to the second baseman, Darwin Barney, first time, and the breaking ball from Beeler missing. 33 pitches, 22 strikes, his first 3 big league innings.
Well, second time around, let's see if there's adjustments made. You've seen the release point, you picked up rotation, you know what the stuff does. And we always talk about it, big league hitters make adjustments far quicker than minor league hitters, and that's when you talk to a guy who's in his first go around as a major leaguer, that's the first thing they notice. Wow, do guys make adjustments quick up here.
Inside the numbers with STG Inc. 31 extra base hits as a leadoff batter. Nobody leading off has done that in baseball. Denard overall 25 doubles, third in the National League. Then he has a pair of doubles in this series, but those happened on Thursday night. He was 2 for 4, and now in the series he's 2 for 9. On pitches moving away, he's trying to go that way with it.
He's so good with 2 strikes hitting the off speed. He took a couple of called third strikes yesterday, did Denard Span, on fastballs. You know, he spreads out, takes a lot out of his swing, and just tries to play pepper with 2 strikes. And it's a swing suited for off speed.
Good take that even the count, 2-2. And Span takes the fastball upstairs.
All right, you know the drill. Hashtag Masson fan photos for a chance to have it shown in a future broadcast. That's brought to you by AT&T. I'll show you one later. I know you can't wait.
Good at bat by Denard Span. He was behind in the count, fouled off a couple, and the Nats have their leadoff man on for the second straight inning. Second time in this series Span has been on leading off an inning, and that brings in Anthony Rendon. Fly ball to center, first time up, swinging early in the count. In the series, 3 for 9 with an RBI.
That's a design hold right there. That's coming from the bench. And the reason they do that is you want to see if the base runner gets antsy. Does he start flinching? Does it look like he's going? So you just sit there, hold it, hold it, hold it. Meanwhile, the whole Cubs bench is watching Denard Span to see if he's tipping that he's going to go.
A couple of shuffle steps and he stayed, and a called strike to Rendon.
And sometimes those pickoffs where they hold are tough to watch for fans, but from a coach's standpoint, it's one of the most effective ways to see if a base runner is going to go. They don't always tip their hand when you throw over, but if you sit there and hold, good base runners get antsy.
Rendon rifles one up the middle. Span's going to run hard to the bag and then sees Lake get to it in a hurry. Now the Nats have 2 on, nobody out.
All right, second time around, so far so good. And you talk about all the double plays the Nats have hit into, and you see Anthony Rendon pulling his hands in nicely, going right back up the middle. I mean, this is one of the main ballparks you don't want to hit balls on the ground in. This is a lift and separate ballpark. Break out your softball swing, get the ball in the air.
Zimmerman struck out swinging first time up. Span a good lead. Barney trying to keep him close. Pitcher never looked at the runner. Came home quickly and missed with a fastball to Zimmerman. And Ryan pulls it. Castro to second for 1. And Zimmerman beats the relay. Anthony Rendon, pretty good job of going after Darwin Barney. It'll be first and third, 1 out.
Yeah, he should get a few high fives when he gets back to the Nats dugout. Good slide by Rendon. A chopper to short allowed Rendon to get on Darwin Barney and cause a little heck there around second base. Nice slide, playing the game the right way. First and third, 1 out. Far different than runner on third, 2 outs. Little bobble there by Castro, but Barney could feel the runner coming, cleared himself off balance, and Ryan hustling as he always does at first base, beats the relay.
Big spot for Adam LaRoche now. Struck out on a pitch in the dirt first time. And that's a fastball for a strike to the outer half. LaRoche starting today 10th in the league in hitting at .309. On base percentage hanging in at .420. Amazing. And another fastball bolted to the outside corner. And Adam looks at Jerry Lane, wondering about the width of the strike zone for a rookie pitcher. Some shot yesterday leading off the 4th.
Yeah, don't blink. That one shot out of a cannon. Low line drive just got out of here. Probably been a double or maybe even a single back in the day. Without the basket, that would have hit off the wall and ricocheted back. But that was a long time ago, right, Carp?
Yeah, the bleacher fans here are so much more well behaved than they were back in the 60s. They had these so-called bleacher bums. They wore yellow hard hats to the game. They used to trash the warning tracks during the game. And LaRoche will line out. And the piece of that bat that broke off was heading right for Zimmerman and Rizzo over at first base. 2 outs.
Good base running by Ryan in a lot of different ways there. Low line drive in the infield for you kids. Go back, don't freeze on it. But then he had to negotiate the barrel of Adam LaRoche's bat flying right at Ryan Zimmerman. So nice play by Barney on the sinking line drive, and he almost got hit with the bat.
It's up to Desmond now. The Nats had a runner at third, fewer than 2 outs. Bernard Span still sitting over there. And Ian Desmond needs a hit. He's 0 for 8 here at Wrigley. And a backhand stop by John Baker.
On the right side of the screen, watch Ryan Zimmerman do the dance on the flying barrel coming at him. So he's looking at the line drive. He looks up, sees the barrel, and then it was right next to him.
Two and 0. Tapper, third base, foul.
Now, Beeler's done a nice job of moving the fastball around. The two-seamer on the inside is 93, and then the cutter away to right-handers 91. He's kept everything down.
Desmond still 9th in the league in RBIs with 46. He has 1 on this trip. And Rizzo not really right on the bag, kind of moved back to the bag for the throw with Ryan Zimmerman. Three and one, fastball up and away.
Hunt a mistake right here. A lot of times when you're scuffling, you swing for the count, meaning you're 3-1. I'm just going to swing and hope it's a strike. This is where you really keyhole a guy and hunt a mistake. Look for something right down the middle.
Pops it up. Right center. Breeze pushing it back to center field. And Junior Lake takes care of it. And the Nats fail again to bring in a run with a man at third base and one out. Waiting for fly balls on Waveland and playing some ball of their own beyond the left field bleachers.
Still no score heading to the bottom of the fourth inning. Beautiful day for baseball here at Wrigley Field, and a beautiful day to hit. Just as a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game. That is brought to you by Miller Lite. I see red people. I've seen red people all weekend. The turnout here by Nats fans in Chicago this weekend has been phenomenal. They're all still waiting for something to cheer about.
Ruggiano, Rizzo, Castro, bottom of the fourth. And Gio bounces one. Counts 2-0. Hasn't gone to many long counts at all. John Baker fouled off a few before grounding back to him in the third. And that ball's well hit to center. The wind's got it. It's curving, and it is caught by Denard Span up against the ivy. He thought it was going to be over toward right center, and the breeze took it straight away. Fantastic play.
Wow. If it's in the park, he's going to catch it, and this is vintage hashtag spanning. Watch this play, and if you've ever played at Wrigley Field, you know that there's bricks back there, and this is fearless by Denard Span, crashing up against the ivy, crashing up against the bricks. He turned around 2 times, found the baseball, and made an unbelievable play here. I'll tell you what, I played center field in this ballpark a lot of times, and it gets gnarly when you get to that warning track because you know there's no padding and you know the bricks are coming fast. Denard Span could have cared less to make this play. Yeah, I don't know what advanced metrics say about that, but my eyes tell me it's unbelievable, and Gio Gonzalez agrees.
Well, I'm sure Denard heard about what was said about him.
He did.
Last weekend.
He did.
And I would have to say, since last Saturday, he's taken his defense to another level from even where it was before that.
Oh, he did, and he's not happy about it. Let's just put it that way.
I think it's an insult when somebody looks at numbers and graphs and says somebody's deteriorating. Come on.
If the numbers and graphs agree with what you see with your eyes, that's when advanced metrics is very valuable to me. But, you know, we're lucky enough to see him play every day and cover one team, so it's easy for us. And Denard's mom, she's a Span fan, and so are all Nats fans. They love this guy.
One on, one out. That was Gio's 28th walk of the year in 64 innings. Starlin Castro robbed of a hit by Ryan Zimmerman on a falling short fly ball in the left center. First time up, and Gio starts him out. First pitch changeup. It was a fastball swing to an off-speed pitch.
Anthony Rizzo was trying to time up Gio Gonzalez right there and go. He had thoughts about stealing second base.
Something he has done once this year in 4 attempts. Lobaton, 5 of 20 catching would-be base stealers. And a breaking ball. Short center. And there's Span again. Chance for a double play. And LaRoche stays on the bag.
How about that inning for Denard Span?
So graph that in the bottom of the 4th. Denard Span with outstanding plays, responsible for all 3 outs against the Cubs.
That might be the spark this ball club needs. The 2 plays by Denard Span in the 4th inning, as good as it gets. Tough to see them all at once, but the read by Denard Span, the sound of the bat, Anthony Rizzo going a little bit too far right here, and then the throw by Span and the footwork by Adam LaRoche. So there's about 8 things going on right here that were done well. Anthony Rizzo wandered too far, but that's a tough read for a base runner. He has to get to second base if that falls. What he failed to realize is that if it's in the ballpark, Denard Span's going to catch it, and the stands love Denard Span. Say that 5 times fast. The one thing I will say is that about 2 years ago, Denard would have ran and tagged the guy out instead of throwing, so maybe his skills are diminishing a little bit.
Yeah. Got to take off the Superman cape at some point in your career. Franzen, McLaughlin, Lobaton, and Gio Gonzalez loves the defense. And one of the reasons it's being played like that, Gio's been around the plate tonight. He's not laboring like he did in Milwaukee on Monday. That's a strike to Kevin Franzen, who bounced out to second first time up. Meanwhile, quite a matchup between Gio and Dallas Beeler.
Well, sometimes a defensive play can fire up your offense. I know if I was in the first base dugout right now, I'd be fired up. I know I'm fired up in the booth. That was some kind of display, but Nards man by himself basically in the 4th inning.
Great take again by Franzen. Had one of those his first AB.
But that cutter from Beeler has been just outstanding today. I mean, it's basically acted like a 91-mile-an-hour slider. Look at it right there. I mean, it starts down the middle and is breaking off the plate. It's staying on the same plane. It doesn't have any tilt to it, but the movement late on the cutter has really been the difference for him here. Slider's good too, but the cutter's been great.
Yeah, great location on the Mercedes-Benz pitch track. Franzen over to the left side, cut off by Mike Olt. Mass and Dan, warm enough for you at Wrigley today.
Guys, kind of fitting with that Denard Span play. A lot of people have been wondering how things will shake out once Bryce Harper returns, and he could come back on Monday. Matt Williams has said for a while now that he didn't really have a set game plan. He would kind of take things by ear, but asked today, Matt said he does have a plan. He's not ready to announce it to the media just yet, but when asked whether some veteran players might need to kind of put their egos aside and deal with less playing time once Harper comes back, Williams' response was, quote, not as much as you might think. Now, you can interpret that as you choose to, and this is just speculation on my part, but I take that to mean that things will kind of go back to the way they were earlier on in the season, with Ryan Zimmerman probably getting most of the time at third base, Anthony Rendon moving over to second base, and Bryce Harper sliding in back in left field. So, again, Harper's making progress in his return, probably just a couple days away. And Matt Williams says that the egos and putting playing time a little bit aside maybe won't need to be considered by a lot of these veteran players.
Nate McLeod called out on strikes. Strikeout number 4 by Beeler. And as you and I talked about last night, FP, Danny Espinosa's slump couldn't have happened at a worse time for him, because these things have a way of working their way out. It would be pretty hard now not to leave Zimmerman in there every day and move Rendon to second base.
Yeah, I guess it's shaking out how it's shaking out, but even if that's what Matt Williams thinks today, a week from now, that might not be the case.
Lobaton to second base, and the Nats go quietly. That's 6 in a row since they had 2 on, nobody out to lead off the 4th inning. No score at Wrigley halfway through game 1.
Straight out of Wrigley Field today. Pitchers duel as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. No score. How about some Geico highlights and check out Denard Span's 4th inning. Watch the adjustment right here. He takes his eyes off the baseball, turns from one shoulder to the other, still finds the baseball with the bricks and the ivy approaching, makes the play. Unbelievable. Watch the arm right here after the great read on the blooper. A bullet to Adam LaRoche, keeps his tippy toes on the base for the double play, and put that whole inning on the Denard Span highlight reel, and it's a big reel.
Great Geico highlights. And I'm estimating here, but I think those 2 catches took place about 200 feet from each other.
Oh, yeah. But the way he took his eyes off the baseball, that is just super impressive, and those guys loved it.
Bottom of the 5th, Olt, Coghlan, Barney, 5, 6, 7 for the Cubs. Gio has thrown 51 pitches, 34 strikes in his 4 innings. And that Span play, well, both of them last inning sure saved him a lot of pitches. Olt struck out swinging first time. First pitch changeup to the big, strong, but strikeout proof Mike Olt, who's having a hard time making contact these days. He's 0 for his last 10. Doesn't play every day. Struck out 70 times already this year. Oh and 2, bottom of the 5th underway. Coghlan, the left-hander on deck, and then the right-hander Barney. And Gio goes off speed at the knee, trying to go to the knees in the dirt. And the count 1 and 2. And then the curveball. Inside the numbers with STG Inc. In any month since 05. June right there with June of 11. Right now the Nats are living on their pitching because the offense is stalling big time on this road trip, and there's Gio's 4th strikeout.
I want you to look at this play by Denard Span one more time for behind home play. There's a bunch of things going on here. You know, it's hard enough as an outfielder to take your eyes off the baseball, but what's going on here is the wind is blowing from right to left, so this ball has a little push to it toward left field. Watch him take his eyes off the ball, look at the fence to know where he's at, or the wall I should say more accurately. Find the baseball, know exactly where he is, make the leap, and know that the bricks are coming. He's going to hit them. I mean, there's so many good things going on there. They're technically sound by Denard to make that adjustment on full speed, to take your eyes off the baseball, find the ball again. But in finding the ball, you take a second to glance at the bricks and then make the jump. Unbelievable. I mean, that's just a clinic in and of itself on when a ball kind of jumps on you and moves, how to do it.
Yeah, and that's years and years of experience playing center field. The calmness, ability to refine the baseball. That's a hanging breaking ball on 0-2. And Gio gives up his 2nd hit of the day. He had Coghlan in a deep hole. Probably wanted to bury that curveball. Tonight, the nightcap of the doubleheader. And it'll be Blake Trinan taking on the Cubs ace, Jeff Samardzija. And then the guys will be coming home to take on the Rockies a little bit earlier on Wednesday. And then the Cubs in for 4 after an off day Thursday. Actually, Cubs in for 3 after the off day. And then home and home, 2 and 2 with the Orioles.
You know, also kind of tying a bow on that thing about having killer instinct and step on people's throat. You know, what's happened has happened. How you react to it now, I think, is a whole another thing to watch. You could put it all to bed with a couple of wins here and beat the Cubs when they come to your place, and maybe, you know, the Cubs jumped you because you thought they were a last place team, and it's all you did have to do was show up. You know, for Matt Williams' squad, yeah, they got beat the first 2 games. How do you react to it now? And that could tell a story in and of itself.
Good run on that fastball. Darwin Barney lined out to Adam LaRoche, first time up. "51 pitches into this inning. He's now at 60. And that ball's trouble in right, but McLeod was playing shallow in the offside and had no problem getting to it. 2 down.
Enjoy the first of 3 Freedom Fireworks nights on Wednesday, July 2nd after the Nats play the Rockies at 6:05 p.m. Note the start time, 6:05 p.m. The Marine Corps Silent Drill Platoon will perform on the field before the patriotic-themed fireworks show. Call 202-675-NATS or go to nationals.com/explosions. Natitudes everywhere. I'm telling you, it's been a Nats takeover of Rush Street this weekend. They have been everywhere. Nats fans all over town, walking down Michigan Avenue, and strong showing at the yard.
Runner moving, swing and a miss. Lobaton, not a good throw. Shortstop side. It bounced about halfway from the pitcher's mound to second base. And Chris Coughlin, who's now healthy again, able to steal some bags.
Yeah, I don't think he got a great jump, but I think a good throw gets him by about 2 steps. You see when Ian Desmond caught it, Coughlin not even the base, but Jose Lobaton pulled it, and he almost killed Gio Gonzalez. Gio's fallen off to the third base side. That throw was low, and it hopped right behind the mound.
Gio ahead of Baker 0-1. And the Nats would basically let Coughlin steal third if he wanted to here. Nobody pinching anywhere close to the bat. He can get a 30 or 40 foot leadoff by the time the pitch is leaving. But with 2 outs, you better make it.
Well, an 0-2 count, you go up and into Baker and then curveball down away. And what you do prior to that curveball probably dictate what Baker's thinking. But if you buzz the tower, that'll keep him from leaning out for the curveball on a 1-2 count. He went right to the curve.
And a good backstop. Lobaton turned himself into right there. 1 ball and 2 strikes. No score, bottom of the 5th. Each team with 2 hits. Each team with a walk. Each has turned to double play.
Using the taps. That's what they did against the Brewers last time.
And fastball outside.
If you're wondering why they do that, well, you know, it's a sequence thing. When, you know, if I tap twice to my right shoulder, it's this, or if I hit my knee, or it's the order of the taps, however you want to do it, but it keeps the runner on second base from figuring out a sequence and know what's coming. See Lobaton start to give signs right there just out of habit before he had to realize that he's doing taps today.
Ball 3. Pitcher is on deck. Situation we talk about a lot.
Yeah, but you had him 0-2, so you're looking for that put away pitch, and I still think it's the curveball.
Got to be a pitcher's pitch. You'd rather walk him than give him an RBI hit, even though the rookie has a base hit today. And there is the slow curve of beauty. So now the pitcher will have to lead off in the 6th. Gio strong, Beeler pretty good too. Both pitchers will lead off in the 6th. It is scoreless in game 1 of the doubleheader at Wrigley. Telecast presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Washington Nationals. That guy's been looking for base hits with those binoculars all week. I think it's time to get rid of that. So we're going to the top of the 6th inning. And for every Nats walk this year, and there's been one today, $50 from our friends at Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield to support Girls on the Run DC. 247 walks, over $12,000. Take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle.
Ever since Sister Base Hits came in the booth, I'm just saying, she wasn't good luck this year.
It's been rough.
I don't know.
It's been Sister stranded ever since. Here's Gio, bounced out to second base first time, hit the ball sharply. Gets his money's worth in the box as a rule. 1-1, 65 pitches, 43 strikes from Dallas Beeler, making his big league debut for the Cubs.
That's the pitch that has been so good for Beeler today. The cut fastball down the zone. Look at that. That's 87 with some depth to it. There's another one right there.
Two-thirds fastballs, some cutting. That one with a little run back and sink to it. Nationals box, not a whole lot there. Denard Span. A walk leading off the 4th. Anthony Rendon, a base hit after that. Nats couldn't get him home. Span ended up at third base with one out. And that's 5 strikeouts now for Dallas Beeler on the Nissan pitch track.
It just climbs a ladder with the fastball right there at 90, and Gio goes up with him.
Top of the order, Denard Span 0 for 1 with a walk. Cloud cover right now. Two and 0. It went off speed, missed by a wide margin. Span in this series 2 for 9, a walk, 2 runs batted in. Bunting looks pretty good. Played by Mike Olt. Wide throw. And Anthony Rizzo had a lot to deal with there. Runner crossing in front of him and a throw heading into foul ground. And a base hit all the way for Denard Span.
Boy, this is just textbook base hit bunting by Denard Span. And for you younger players at home, watch how early he squares around. It's not about the deception and squaring around late. It's about placement with the baseball. And if you looked at Mike Olt, he was playing in, but Denard Span didn't care. He squared around early. He got the ball down. He made the first bounce be in the soft dirt, and he got it toward the line so that Olt was going away from the play. That was perfect. Nicely done. Too often you see base hit bunters square around late, and they bunt it foul.
Out at first is Denard Span. Nats have not handled the base pass that well in this series at all.
Well, that's a nice way of putting it, because they haven't run the bases well at all. Denard Span with the double, thinking about a triple the other day, rounded the base too far and then gets picked off right there after a beautiful base hit bunt.
Takes away a chance for Anthony Rendon to get aboard after Span for the second straight time. You have them both aboard, and a curveball drops in there.
I mean, this is what this ball club has done to Nats fans this year. They get you excited for a second, and then just like that, you're not. It's been a roller coaster ride.
You know, I know you've talked about this in the past, team searching for its identity. Well, after tonight's game, the season will be half over. And the Nationals could be one game over unless they turn this thing around and win at least one of these 2 games or sweep.
I mean, that
what's your identity to be a 500 ball club halfway through the season?
Oh, and that right there, that whole Denard Span thing in a nutshell is what their season has been about. You know, great bunch. You get to first, you think something's going, and then he gets picked off.
And then, of course, the next guy always seems to get a base hit after a base running mistake. And Anthony Rendon hits that ball extremely hard to the ivy. He's 2 for 3, 5th hit of the series, and he's at second base, but 2 outs.
You take 3 out of 4 in San Francisco, you get swept by the Cardinals. You take 2 out of 3 in Milwaukee, and the Cubs beat you a few times. That's kind of been the season in a nutshell. All there, right in that one Denard Span at bats. And Anthony Rendon keeps on keeping on what he does all season long. Roasts a double down the corner, a 2-out double.
I think without a doubt, he's been the most consistent hitter in the lineup all year. He had a bit of a quiet spell on the last road trip, but consistently Anthony Rendon has put out the best ABs along with Adam LaRoche. And of course, Rendon's been out there just about every day. Out a couple of weeks on the DL. But what a second year that young man is having. Good take by Ryan Zimmerman to get the count in his favor. He just may need somebody to wake up the whole dugout with a 2-out bomb to take the lead in the ball game here. They'll settle for a single to drive in Rendon, but the Nats need something big with 2 outs. That one with run back action to it on the changeup, but it stayed outside. Then he holds on too long, and that's off the backhand reach of John Baker. We're going to call that a pass ball.
Yeah, just kind of yanked the cutter right here, and it just takes off on Baker. I don't know if that's a pass ball. That looked like it was in the left-handed batter's box, I guess, because his glove touched it, but that's not an easy play for Baker on the cutter.
He was set up inside.
Yeah.
Zimmerman 4-pitch walk, and now the right-hander has to deal with Adam LaRoche.
Can't imagine that was a pitch around.
Yeah, why would you?
Walk the righty to get to the lefty hitting 300.
Second time today the Nats have had 2 men on in the same inning, and it's only the 3rd time in the last 2 games.
This is a good trip by Cubs pitching coach Chris Bosio. Yeah, rookie in his major league debut. It's been going well so far. I think that's an understatement, actually. Go out there, calm him down. Maybe you saw something on those yank fastballs where he's spinning out of there, flying open all of a sudden. Or maybe just trying to overthrow in a big situation. That's what young guys will do. Yeah, follow us on Twitter. We have dinner with Mike Rizzo. I'll tell you what a better prize would be. Dinner with his dad, Phil Rizzo. Because I had lunch with Phil today.
Oh boy.
He was very outspoken on his thoughts about what was going on here in the series against the Cubs so far.
He's not liking it.
He doesn't hold back, and we love him.
LaRoche 0 for 2, strikeout, and a broken bat liner to second base, and he gets locked up on that one. And Mike Estabrook says it's a swing, strike 1. There's a wild pitch. The Nats get a break and they're on the board. 1-0 Washington.
Whatever it takes. This is about a 58-footer right here, maybe less. John Baker had no chance. This is straight into the ground. And the Nats score their first run on a wild pitch, and they'll take it.
Now they'll walk LaRoche with the count 1-1 and face Ian Desmond. A big spot for Desmond, who's 0 for 9 in the Chicago series. So the pass ball, which we thought should have been a wild pitch, and then a true wild pitch. PNC Bank for the Achiever and You with our minor league report. Another kid from Oklahoma, a little town called Leedy. He was drafted by the Nats out of high school, 3rd round, just last year. And the Sally League Player of the Week at Hagerstown. Drew Ward, a third baseman who swings left-handed, hitting .412. Desmond has struck out and flied to center. Ball 1.
In case you're wondering, Ian Desmond hitting .214 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. Adam LaRoche hitting .200 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs.
That's surprising.
And Ryan Zimmerman hitting .211 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
Well, it gives the other manager at times opportunity to pitch around guys to see if anybody will hurt him. There's one of their 2 lefties, Wesley Wright. Haven't seen James Russell, their other southpaw, in this series. And Desmond takes one in there. I think Ian's gotten so used to seeing breaking balls for the last couple of weeks. At times he's been surprised by the fastball.
When you're scuffling, you're not seeing it well, and you get caught in between. You sit on a curveball, you get a fastball. Sit on a fastball, get a curveball.
He goes with the heater away, misses with 90. Nats lead 1-0, 2 men aboard here in what a 2-out hit could make a breakthrough 6th inning. The pickoff of Span really hurts now. And a 2-2. Desmond, fastball, couldn't pull the trigger. Nats pick up an unearned run because of the pass ball. A frustrated Desmond, but Washington does have the lead after 5.5. Gio tough through 5, 67 pitches, 45 strikes. He faces Dallas Beeler, and that time the 90-mile-an-hour fastball missed away. Laid one in the first time, and Beeler singled on the first pitch he ever swung on in the major leagues. It's this one up the middle to Ian Desmond. So Beeler stays in after 91 pitches.
The Patriotic Series presented by SAIC will honor Independence Day Friday, July 4th when the Nats take on these very Cubbies. 11:05 start. Kick off your 4th of July celebration at Nats Park. Game time 11:05. It's always my favorite day of the year. By far. And well, where else would you rather be on the 4th? Nats Park, baseball, 4th of July, nation's capital. Come on.
That's a strike. Lake might have pulled the bat back, but I think Jerry Lane gave Gio the call on the tailing pitch. Back in the lineup for the first time since he met the right center field wall and that steel door out there Thursday night. He's popped up and struck out. Showed bunts, drew in Rendon, and took a ball. Counts even. Braves underway at Philadelphia. Phils with a run in the bottom of the first inning. Atlanta and Washington both 41 and 38. 2 games up on 2.5 up on Miami. Big swing. Inside the numbers this time from Jeep. Most starts with 6 innings or more and 0 earned runs since the start of last year. Clayton Kershaw the best and Gio right in the mix. Even when he struggles with control and command, he can be unhittable.
He's tough to get a read on. He's very deceptive in his delivery. He keeps that shoulder closed for a long time.
Cubs now throwing the right-hander Brian Schlitter, who pitched 2/3 of an inning scoreless here yesterday. On 3 pitches, he got that double play ball on Ian Desmond. Off speed with 76. Gio strikeout number 6. And he's working on a scoreless streak against the Cubs of over 20 innings now.
Well, he does such a nice job of keeping his front side closed, and you see his back if you're a hitter. Watch his front shoulder, his right shoulder, and how long he keeps it closed. Then he just kind of comes at you with the arm late. A lot of deception in Gio's delivery. The stuff is good, but then you add a little deception in your windup, it makes it even better. Jeff Samardzija, the starter for Game 2, is a lot like that. He stays close to the last second. When people talk about Samardzija, they talk about 96. But it's 96 with deception. He really stays close for a long time. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because Steven Strasburg mentioned after his last start in Milwaukee that they're seeing his ball too easy. He's showing it to him. And I think he might want to make some adjustments between starts. He's talked about it, of staying closed longer and add a little deception to his windup. So stay tuned.
3-0 to Ruggiano with Rizzo on deck. Cubs only have 2 hits. Dallas Beeler 2 out single 3rd. 1 out single in the 5th and a stolen base for Chris Coghlan. And a 2-1 pitch now. Ruggiano is the man who pinned Denard Span up against the ivy 2 innings ago. 3-1. Fastball had some tail to it on the inside edge, but it must have been low. And Gio walks his second man today.
Not a bad miss right there on the 3-1 fastball, just a hair inside. Now he has to negotiate the Cubs' best hitter.
Anthony Rizzo, who's 0 for 7 career against Gio with a walk drawn today. And if you might be wondering why the Cubs batted Beeler and then might take him out, the only right-handed bat they have on their bench to hit for him is Wellington Castillo, their other catcher. Shearholt, Sweeney, Valbuena, all lefties, getting game 1 off today. So Rick Renteria with that move, it appears, as Schlitter continues to throw.
That's a confident move down by 1 in the 6th inning. I'm not going to lie. I mean, you could lead off man on a 1-0 game. Who knows with these guys coming up? Personally, I'd rather have a left-hander up there against a left-hander and a position player trying to jump aboard if I'm going to go to my bullpen.
Gio goes to 2-1 on Rizzo. He hasn't had one of those spells today where he has struggled with control. In the 4th inning, Rizzo walked, but then the great play by Denard Span doubled him off first after the catch in short center field. So Gio's been sharp, and his defense the same behind him. Zimmerman's made an outstanding play. Two-one pitch.
I think the same holds true right here in a 2-2 count that held true for John Baker to end the 5th inning. The curveball's open if he wants it.
And there it is, way outside at 77. 3-2.
Easy take for Rizzo. It was never a strike.
Ruggiano will have a head start at first base. Full count, 2 outs in a 1-run game. Starlin Castro, the on-deck hitter. Gio wants to face him next inning. Jammed him. Desmond to his right. It's going to take a while, and a strong throw. And LaRoche couldn't get back down quickly enough. Base hit for Rizzo.
And Gio Gonzalez was pointing to Adam LaRoche, saying that he got down in time. Matt Williams going to come out and have a little chat with the first base umpire.
That's the rookie umpire, Tom Woodring. They bring in an extra umpire so that the umps who have the plate for a doubleheader don't work the other game.
I think he got it right. Let's see. Close.
Very close, and they're going to review it. Matt must have gotten a pretty strong thumbs up from his own dugout via the dugout from the video room.
I don't think that's going to get overturned.
Yeah, that looks that looks like the old tie goes to the runner.
Did his foot get down? Oh, maybe it got there in time. Wait a minute. That shot gives you a better look. I think Adam LaRoche's big toe got there before Anthony Rizzo's big toe. And that's what this game has come down to now with replay. Which big toe hit the base first?
Who didn't trim their nails before this one?
Who's got the bigger shoe size? Well, we said the skipper's been on fire with the challenges.
Got one yesterday to prevent a base hit by Chris Coughlin.
I think the toe gets down. LaRoche's toe. Yes, he's out. And I'm sticking to that.
And here at Wrigley, they don't really have a video board where they can show the fans anything. They have a very thin board out in right field. Here's the signal. Runners out. The Nats win another challenge.
Skipper's on fire.
And the inning is over. Gio and the boys can walk off. And both of them involve Ian Desmond making very good plays to his right and throwing on the run.
Brought to you by Mercedes-Benz of Arlington and Mercedes-Benz of Alexandria. Well, let's check out the ball game and the only run that's been scored. It was in the 6th inning. Anthony Rendon with a little 2-out double after Denard Span got picked off at first base. So, okay, a little 2-out lightning maybe. Ball forward to Ryan Zimmerman. Rendon advances to third base. They walk out of LaRoche intentionally after the wild pitch that puts the Nats on the scoreboard 1-0.
Call to the bullpen, packaged by the UPS Store, your one-stop shop for all your small business needs. Let us handle your mailbox service needs. We love logistics. Second time in this series, local boy from Park Ridge, Illinois, Brian Schlitter gets the call, and he's the guy who threw the double play ball to Ian Desmond yesterday. Here in the 7th, he'll face Franzen, McLeod, and Lobaton.
I'll tell you what, Dallas Buehler did a heck of a job at his major league debut. He can be proud. 6 innings, 4 runs, 1 run not earned. Struck out 6 Nats. Called up from AAA today to make a spot start and did a really nice job. 1 run on 4 hits.
Franzen, center cut fastball, fights it off, but it carries out to Ruggiano in right field. Ball had enough tail to get in on the trademark of his bat. And now McLeod and Lobaton, left-handed batters. Gio, by the way, threw 6 at 84 pitches. So in a position to pitch very deep into this one. Really important on a doubleheader day.
After crushing instant replay for the first 2-3 weeks of the season, and I'm just saying this because that call was overturned, I'm starting to come around to it a little bit. I'm seeing it work in an efficient manner. I'm seeing them get it right. I think we were frustrated early in the season because even after the replay, they weren't getting it right, and that was the frustrating part. Okay, if you're going to do replay, the intent is to get the call right, and there was replay after replay that we were seeing that they weren't seeing in New York, and that was the frustrating part about it, and that's why we were so outspoken, or at least I was so outspoken against it. But
I was agreeing with you.
It's starting to work a lot more smooth. It's starting to work better, and my personal opinion, I'm starting to come around to it.
We're halfway just about through the season, so it takes a while. 2-1 to McLeod, who's 1 for 2. His only base hit today, 2 to left field.
Celebrate Independence Day weekend with the Carolina League's first half champion Potomac Nationals. If you don't know, in A-ball, it's split up in halves. They won the first half. They're automatically in the playoffs, so they don't even have to show up for the second half. They're just going to kick it by the pool. Anthony Rendon bobblehead on July 5th.
Clouth on a fair ball right to Rizzo. 2 quick outs for Brian Schlitter here in the 7th. Up to Lobaton to keep it alive and at least get Gio in there and turn over the lineup. Although I've wondered about that at times over the years as you get to this stage of a ball game. Are you better off with your pitcher hitting or being well rested going into his 7th inning of work, and you worry about the at bat later? We'll see what Lobaton does.
Well, I think Matty's got his bullpen set up how he wants it. They're rested after that long game in Milwaukee. You go Storm, Clifford, Soriano with a 1-run lead. Why not? Although Gio jumping out in the on deck circle.
Yeah. And Lobaton, a very late swing on a fastball tailing up and away. Jose struggling, 1 for his last 24. Mercedes-Benz on this one.
And 93, top of the strike zone, can't get there. He's going back to the dugout. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I don't know that you want to see that from one of your hitters, thinking it's a strike going back to the dugout. Watch this. Jose Lobaton thinking this is strike 3. He went back to the dugout. Stayed there.
A couple of Cubs were on the move there. Count goes to 3-2. And then Lobaton called out. A very, what you would call, blasé at bat by Jose Lobaton. The Nats go 1-2-3, and it's time for that Wrigley Field 7th inning stretch thing. But the Nats have the lead.
Storm brewing right there as you look at the anvil cloud starting to take form. But Gio Gonzalez today has been fantastic, and it's been with the off speed. The fastball command has been good, but the changeup and curve as good as we've seen it this year. And the last two starts, a more calm, under control Gio Gonzalez with the delivery, with the mechanics, and obviously with the stuff. He has been fantastic here today against the Cubs. DC area Toyota dealers want to help children and their families by making a donation of $37 to the Children's Inn at NIH for every strikeout by a Nats pitcher this season.
85 pitches. Kevin for 54 strikes. And they'll face their 4-5-6, Castro, Olt, and Coghlan.
I don't know that I've ever seen Rafael Soriano throwing in the 7th inning.
I just wonder if he's feeling a need to get loose or something. Hasn't thrown in several days. Maybe just a little catch for 5 minutes, and then he'll be ready for the 9th if needed.
And Drew is hot and ready to go.
I didn't know he had his gear on in the 7th inning, Soriano, much less throwing, so that's got to be out of necessity. And now he sits down. He just threw for I don't know, what, 10, 12, 15 pitches.
And maybe that's his everyday routine. In some of the bullpens, we can't see him do it, but right here at Wrigley, when they're out on the field, you see everything.
Castro today's been robbed twice by Zimmerman and Span. That ball hit his foot in a foul.
And from a broadcaster standpoint, I love the fact that the bullpens are on the field here. So many times we really can't see into bullpens, but here you see everything going on all the time.
Is this in San Francisco, the only two left?
And double barrels right there. I think Strop if they take the lead.
Gio giving a steady diet of off-speed stuff to Starlin Castro. Pulls it. Anthony Rendon eyed it all the way into his glove and guns it over to LaRoche for a Very important first out.
Yeah, huge out in a 1-0 game with that guy up. Good changeup. MLB.TV Premium is the #1 live streaming sports service, and it's celebrating 12 years. Join the millions and billions of subscribers. Watch every market game live in true HD on over 27 million devices. Visit Nationals.com for details.
Mike Holt, pair of strikeouts. He's got that changeup working beautifully today. 82 on that. And Holt, another free swinger, strikeout prone guy who has seen nothing but off speed. Target in. Gio tried to bust him in but missed up.
You know, often guys will go on the DL with a sore shoulder. They'll come back and feel good for a start or two, and then it starts to bark again. I don't know if that's the case with Gio, but I like Gio throwing more changeups and maybe taking a little off his fastball and using some off speed more. And it seems like he's been more under control, more in command of the strike zone. Yeah, obviously you want that 95 in your back pocket, and I think he has it. But my point is, I like the changeups and I like the curveballs more than he's been throwing. It's been working nice.
That ball laced into right, and a good read and a good grab by Nate McLeod. That ball was hit so hard. Looked like he was about ready to charge it, and then he pulled up and grabbed it. Well done.
Well, low line drives can be tricky, especially at day games. And Nate McLeod paused for a second, got a read on it, then came in. Yeah, that second pause is to try to find the baseball and all the white T-shirts behind home plate. At Wrigley Field, it can be as bad as any park in baseball because of the low fence behind home plate. You see more fans than you normally see here, and if they're wearing white shirts during a day game, it could be tough on the low ones. Tough backdrop to see line drives.
Bases empty, 2 outs. Chris Coghlan. Curveball outside. He has struck out looking. Singled up the middle, stole a base in the 5th, never made it beyond second base.
Nice play. So this is kind of what you're looking at, obviously from a lower angle, but you see all the white T-shirts back there? And the wall behind home plate being that low, so a low line drive could come out of any of those shirts, or if there's a lot of them. It's one thing I always used to look for in center field. Run out there for the first inning and look behind home plate and see if there was a lot of white T-shirts right behind the hitter.
Perfect fastball. Inning over. Gio Gonzalez, 7 in the book today, and it's one of his best starts in quite some time. That was strikeout number 7. Nats need some more runs, maybe. It'll be Monday night against the Colorado Rockies, first of 3. Jordan Zimmermann, his 4-0 career against Colorado with a 1.42 ERA. And in June, he is 1.18. So the month of June is over for him. Well, maybe one more on the 30th. That is Monday night, and he'll try to take that ERA, take it a little bit lower. 6:30 Nats Extra. Masson to the Nats, first of 3 against the Rockies.
Remember our DC Lexus dealers, they're donating $250 to the Children's National Medical Center for every home run a Nats player hits this season. It's for a wonderful cause, Lexus, the pursuit of perfection.
Nats don't have really any left-handed batters. They do have Danny Espinosa, switch hitter, slumping big time. So Matt Williams goes with Scott Hairston against the right-hander Justin Grimm. Grimm came on, closed out the ball game with a 1-2-3 ninth yesterday. Non-save situation. The score was 7-2.
And you see the slider right there from Grimm. He throws it 17% of the time. Curveball 18, and his fastball averages 94 miles an hour.
Scott Hairston first at bat of this series. On a pitch, a little bit away, fouled it that way. 2-1. So Gio Gonzalez strikes out 7 in 7. Just 2 hits in the shutout bid. Walked a couple. Outstanding outing.
Well, that was the big time stop job they were looking for today. And they got him his run.
98 pitches. 62 strikes for Gio.
Hey, the great ones will tell you, just get me one. That's all I need. Or like Josh Beckett says every time, get me 9 and play Trump tight defense.
Get me 9. Ball ripped to the left side. Well played to his left by Mike Oltz for the first out here, top of the 8th.
All right, here's your AT&T fan photo we promised you earlier in the game. In honor of Dallas Beetler and his major league debut, that is Cameron Fry on the left and Sloan Peterson on the right. I don't know where Ed Rooney is. He couldn't make it, but we already showed you Abe Froman. Save Ferris. I heard he's sick.
Top of the order. Here's Denard Span's been on twice. Walk, bunt, single, picked off after the bunt, and now he's got a rocket into right field. Denard Span hits number 3 and 4 in this series today.
Now, one thing we really didn't cover today is as a major league player, when you're playing a doubleheader, it can be daunting thinking about getting 10 at-bats in one day. You know, regardless of what your average is, you start thinking, well, if I have 1 to show in the first game, or if I get 2, you start thinking like that because it's intimidating, especially on the road, because you know you're hitting in the 9th inning, and if you're a leadoff guy, you're going to get 5 at-bats a game, maybe 9 in the doubleheader, and that's how players think.
That ball hit well to the gap in right center by Rendon. It's going to one-hop the Ivy. Span's going to score. Rendon heading for third. 2-0 Nationals with a runner at third base and 1 out. And Anthony Rendon has 3 hits in a row. Single, double, triple.
Well, that's a big hit they've been looking for this whole series. Rendon, who's absolutely on fire here today. 3rd hit, as you said. A homer shy of the cycle, and after the Denard Span single, goes shopping at the gap for the 2nd run of the day for the Nats. Big time knock right there. And Rendon hits 2nd, makes his mind up that he's going for 3rd, and he makes it easy.
Anthony Rendon with his 5th triple of the year.
When those two click, the Nationals are a tough team to beat. When they're both on base and they're both hitting, good luck.
And career triple number 6 had just one all of last year. 1 out. Job 1 for Ryan Zimmerman now, making this a 3-0 game. Cubs pull the infield way in. Left-hander Wesley Wright throwing again. That's for LaRoche, who's on deck. Top 2 guys in the lineup have been on base 6 times today. Ball 1. And that fastball up in the zone. Counts even 1-1. Sun blazing through here now at Wrigley.
Sweet rally lids down the bullpen. I'm digging it.
And Zimmerman takes one low. Counts in his favor, 2-1. Ryan looking for his 20th RBI of the year, 2nd of this series. Target way out there, and Zimmerman not biting. Ball 3.
Well, when Ryan struck out his first at bat, John Baker set up straight in the left-handed batter's box. He was not near home plate, and he threw a cut fastball away and he chased. They tried to do the same right there.
Well, Grimm knows if he walks Zimmerman, that's his last pitch. Lefty-lefty matchup next, so it's 3-1. And he does walk Ryan Zimmerman, 3rd consecutive base runner this inning. And here comes the pitching change. Wesley Wright and Adam LaRoche, the next matchup. First of 2 today, the day-night doubleheader. Nats have dropped the first 2. They're trying to take charge of this one in the 8th inning with that good bullpen all set up. Couple of hits, big RBI by Rendon on the triple this inning. Inside the numbers with Jeep, and what Adam LaRoche has done against the Cubs since the start of the 2011 season. Been on base once today in this series, 4 times so far, with a home run, his 8th against the Cubbies yesterday. He faces left-hander Wesley Wright and LaRoche. A walk, a double, 2 for 3 career against him.
A 29th appearance for Wright. Solid ERA at 2.45. Opponents hitting 2.33. Lefties, however, check that out, 2.78 against Wright. Fastball, slider, curveball change. 4-pitch guy. Fastball 89 miles an hour.
Third base, Rendon. First base, Zimmerman. Still only 1 out in the inning. Adam LaRoche wants to elevate, and that pitch is up and in. That's up. Left field's got some carry to it. Chris Coughlin, long way to go. Running one-hand catch. Zimmerman's got to get all the way back from second base as Rendon scores easily. And the Nats lead 3-0. Adam LaRoche, 41st RBI.
Well, that swing right there gives you an idea of the conditions here at Wrigley that we really haven't seen hitters take advantage of today. LaRoche just sitting on the slider right there, lofts it to left field, but look how far Coughlin has to go for this baseball. Had some big time carry to it as the wind's been blowing out to left all day long. Scores Anthony Rendon easily, and Starlin Castro trying to double up Ryan Zimmerman almost threw it into the stands.
One of the anomalies of Wrigley Field is that down the lines it's the biggest park in baseball, and when you have the wind blowing it toward those corners, a lot of ground to cover. So one batter for right who will give up the sac fly. Nats taking command now, adding 2, leading by 3. Desmond next. The achiever in you. And by Ocean City, Maryland. Put your vacation days to good use in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at OCOcean.com. Well, if the Nats have their way, that W flag won't be flying on the back of the scoreboard today. It's 3-0 Washington, 8th inning. Ian Desmond coming up. They've made a double switch. Ryan Sweeney will bat 9th. That'll put him up 3rd in the bottom of this inning. And then batting 6th and pitching, right-hander Carlos Villanueva.
Yeah, look at the opponent's average, 323. Lefty's hitting 351 off Villanueva. And he's a 4-pitch guy. Fastball, slider, curveball change. The fastball average is just 88 miles an hour.
Ian Desmond, career against this right-hander, 0 for 2. To short. Castro, a short way to Barney, but a big inning for the Nats. It all started with Denard Span's 1-out single. Anthony Rendon beautifully plugging the gap in right center. When it made it to the Ivy, no doubt Span would score. Rendon to third. Adam LaRoche then drove him in. right now. Boy, what a welcome 2 runs that is. Bullpen is now set up with Tyler Clippard, Soriano if needed. Got to win this game to get one in this series. Take your chances against Samardzija tonight.
Yeah, I mean, they scrapped and clawed for 3 runs. They got a 3-run lead. They have their bullpen set up the way they want, rested, and you have Tyler Clippard in for the 8th inning. So yeah, you got to win 1 before you can win 2 when you're playing a doubleheader, and it just makes that whole in-between game thing a lot more comfortable. You drop this game, it would be a quiet clubhouse for a long time before that second game starts.
For the Cubs, 7, 8, 9, bottom of the 8th. Barney, Baker, Sweeney. Nice to have a lead so you can set up your bullpen. Darwin Barney career against Tyler Clippard 0 for 4. And then goes with the changeup and it floats inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Well, right around 80 at game time. It's got to be mid to high 80s now. And the humidity at game time was 74. It is a stifling, muggy day in Chicago. And Tyler Clippard slips one past Darwin Barney, who's 0 for 2.
Yeah, good changeup right there from Clippard. Yeah, it's a create your own shade bullpen, that's for sure. Nasty change right there at 80. Good late movement.
On the Nissan pitch track. You're looking for 4th gear and you get 2nd. 2-2. Finks had 91 fastball, tough to get around on. Barney was late.
Attaboy.
Nice going. Mom, can we come to the night?
Hey, don't leave him hanging. The guy behind you wants a high five. Do not leave him hanging. Nice. Never ever leave anybody hanging on a high five.
Almost hit the batter. Right now Tyler kind of flying open with that changeup. You have to make your man earn his way aboard here. The stage of a ball game with a 3-run lead now. And a swing and a miss for the first out in the 8th.
Yeah, 3-run lead. Here it is. Hit it. 1-run lead. You have to be a little more fine a 3-2 count to anybody in this ballpark today, especially the pull side. But Tyler Clippard going challenge fastball right by Darwin Barney. So Tuesday at Milwaukee was the last appearance for Tyler Clippard.
Yeah, and in that game, that was in the 15th inning when he gave up a single, got the intentional walk to Lucroy, and then got that huge out when he popped up Carlos Gomez. So that's the 2nd time they had walked Lucroy to get to Gomez in the game, and it worked both times. John Baker 0 for 4 career against Clippard. Fastball, yes, 92. Big crowd quiet. Nearly 36,000 here today. Gio has stopped the Cubs on 2 hits, 2 walks. And the Nats trying to even their record on this road trip at 3-3 and get after a 4th win tonight. 1-2.
Big crowd, loud crowd. You know what you don't hear as a player that you do as a broadcaster? In the 7th inning stretch when they're all singing, they're turned around singing to the booth. So when you're up here, it is loud. Every single fan is pointing toward you, and it's quite an experience.
Well, there was George Altman.
I just wish everybody listening today and watching the broadcast could experience what we do in the 7th inning stretch here, because everybody's facing us. So it's like all 36,000 speakers facing you singing the 7th inning stretch. It's an amazing experience.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a strange feeling. All those faces.
There we are. And there he is. Put it in his left hand and teach him a changeup. He'll make millions.
That one, he's way out ahead. John Baker 0 for 2 today after his perfect day yesterday when he drove in a season high 4 runs. Baker did this to Gio back in the 3rd inning. Fouled off a bunch of pitches before he grounded out. So pitch number 8 of this at bat coming. Not biting on the changeup.
Could be the fork too. He's been using that as his out pitch a lot. It's a pitch that he didn't really use at all last year, but it's become a serious weapon for Tyler this year.
Another 3-2 count. He struck out Barney, and now here comes Baker, and that's going to be paint on the outside corner. Perfect fastball. The catcher slash hitter Baker doesn't like it. And it'll be Ryan Sweeney now with 2 outs.
Well, if you're throwing strikes, Jerry Lane will look for strikes. And you could make the argument that that was too close to take. And you could also understand why John Baker's a little frustrated.
Sweeney just into the ball game as a double switch. He was 2 for 9 first 2 games of the series with a couple of RBIs yesterday.
When my hitters in A-ball used to complain about taking a close called third, I said, don't leave it up to those guys. Take care of it yourself. If it's close enough for him to think about calling, it's close enough for you to swing. And if you leave it up to them, then hang with them. You're at their mercy, meaning the umpires.
And the 0-2. Yeah, that was that splitter, severe diving action into the dirt.
Nice job, Jose Lobaton, preserving the home plate umpire, Jerry Lane. That's all that block was about.
Might buy you a call in the 9th when you need it, huh?
They appreciate that. Might buy you a call right here.
Ball hit hard. It eats up Adam LaRoche. It's got to be a base hit all the way. And Sweeney aboard with 2 outs here in the 8th.
That ball was smoked. Well, I still think the big part of this ball game was this 6th inning for the Cubs and leading off Dallas Beeler when he was coming out of the baseball game. You know, even though it would have been a left-on-left matchup with Gio Gonzalez versus Sweeney. Sweeney can run. So can Nate Scherholtz. So can Valbuena.
Scherholtz is 2 for 3 career against Gio with a home run. I was a little surprised.
I mean, it's a 1-0 game, and I know you're the home team, and you'll have the last ups. I buy it if you're keeping your guy in, he's dealing, and you want to get him the win, and he's going back out for the 7th inning. Totally understand it. But when you're taking him out of the game, in my mind, that's the time when you use your bench, even if it is left on left. If you're ahead there, I still buy it if you're taking him out of the game. Could be a close game. You're thinking extra innings. You want to save your bench. But when you're behind as a manager, most managers will fire their bullets, meaning we'll worry about where guys play or how many guys we have later if we're lucky enough to keep this game going.
First-year manager Rick Renteria. And the 0-2. Junior late taking some, I want to make it 3-2 swings here.
Still weird for me to see number 21 in the Cubs uniform. Have you ever seen, in all your years of doing Major League Baseball, or any sport for that matter, a guy like Sammy Sosa go from just a key to the city, rock star status, owning this town, to the way he ended up here was, I guess, not good, to put it mildly?
Yeah, a little different than the McGuire situation down the road. You know, he came back to work for the ball club and didn't suffer the fall from grace that Sammy did here. You know, there's a picture right behind us as we walk through the hallway to the booth of Sammy carrying that American flag out onto the field and circling the outfield with it right after 9/11. Cubs fans responding to that. Yeah, he was everything to these folks back in the late 90s.
I mean, we couldn't wait for him to take right field every game, where he would sprint kind of down the corner, hang a left, and the crowd would just go nuts for him taking the field.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Quite a battle here. Lake's behind in the count 1-2 and has been for a handful of pitches. Clouds moving across the infield, and a ground ball moving across the infield to Ian Desmond. Solid inning by Tyler Clippard. 3-0 Nats into the ninth. Franzen, McLeod, Lobaton straight ahead. Brought to you by Miller Lite and Not Deliver, would we? It's the really great center field play the last 2 years of Denard Span. That drive by Ruggiano gets back when pushing it one turn, then the other way. Mama likes it. And then later in the same inning, after the Ruggiano walk, actually the Rizzo walk, coming in and pulling off the 8-3 double play. A single inning highlight reel performance by Denard Span, our Miller Lite moment today.
Yeah, not to mention on base 3 times, a walk, a couple of base knocks. He and Anthony Rendon on 6 times combined here today.
Villanueva still pitching. We go top 9 with Kevin Franzen 0 for 3. Line drive to right. Last time up and a strike. Kevin Franzen 0 for 1 career against this right-hander.
So there's a couple ways that Matt Williams could go in game 2 of this. He could give Ian Desmond the day off, or the game off.
but
he has really good numbers against Jeff Samardzija. Desmond is 8 for 16 with 3 doubles and a home run. When you talk about giving your horses a day off, a game and a doubleheader is not a day off because you still played a game on that day.
Yeah.
And ideally, you want to give your guys that grind it out every day that full day off when they just come to the yard. They don't have to think about anything. You know, you wear your turfs in the dugout for about 3 or 4 innings before you go put your cleats on. It's a day just to gear down mentally where you don't have to grind out every pitch, every ground ball. So while he could give Ian Desmond the second game off, I don't know that it would have the same effect as if you had one game in that day and you gave him the game off.
Well, somehow Kevin Franzen reaching that pitch.
I mean, you already played 9. You know, I'm sure Ian would tell you the same thing. He loves to play. He didn't want a day off.
Yeah. Soriano for the 9th. Cubs have 2, 3, 4 due up. Will the Nats be up by more than 3? Right field. Playable for Ruggiano. First out, top 9. They're in the 6th inning at Philadelphia. Braves and the Phils at 2. So if the Nats get 3 more outs, they're a half game up and maybe a game up. When that one ends, and then if they could win tonight, they could gain a game and a half today, which is the best you can do on a doubleheader day, unless the other guys are playing a doubleheader, which they're not. So it could be a profitable day for the Nats. When they come home Monday, it'll be the first game of the second half of the season. It'll be game number 82.
Well, it's no gimme save for Rafael Soriano with Ruggiano, Rizzo, and Castro due up in the 9th. But the way he's been pitching, you like his chances.
And this one into right, and that'll bounce up into the glove of Ruggiano. And Nate McLeod has a 2 for 4 day. Good for him.
Yeah, he checked into the there goes the no-hitter club in the 1st inning, or the 3rd inning, his first at bat, and then he goes base hit right here for his 2nd knock of the day. So a 2 for 4, wrapped around a couple of outs, and nice job off the bench by Nate McLeod here today in game 1. It's be a perfect time to steal.
Why not? Lobaton the hitter. Danny Espinosa on deck to hit for Clippard. And way inside, skipping Lobaton back. Jose 0 for 3 today. Double play ball, grounder, and a strikeout. We'll jump up and jack one into the gap or down a line every once in a while. Nats would love to see him run into one here and have a nice cushion into the 9th. Locked up. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Worth getting this game off. Ramos getting this game off.
I think Matt Williams will go with the A lineup behind young Blake Trinan for game 2. Meaning Espinosa at 2nd, Desmond at short, Worth in right, Ramos catching. I mean, you're playing for the split, right? You have to if you win game 1.
And a ball lifted to left. Ryan Sweeney, 2 outs. And a look at Danny Espinosa here with a pinch hit AB in the top of the 9th. Well, if there's anybody in the ball club that needs a feel-good knock right now, it's Danny. 0 for 5 in this series. Couple of walks and 0 for his last 16. Espinosa, first career at bat against Villanueva. Danny's batting average from the left side down to 198. Don't play back too far, Mike Holt at third base. He's even with the bag. And Espinosa takes a breaking ball that drops in.
Villanueva 1-4 right there to the plate. The average major league catcher 2.0 from the time it hits his glove to the middle infielder's glove on the throw, which would make it 3.4 total. And an above average major league base stealer with a good jump, and that's very important because the times can vary, is 3.3 from the time he leaves his lead to the time he hits the base.
McLeod holding, and that breaking ball from right-handers has been bothering Danny lately, down and in. And then some of the guys will use that to set up a fastball away. Danny Espinosa and Ian Desmond are in the top 10 in the league in strikeouts. Espinosa's at 91. Desmond 2 today. He's at 97. Ryan Howard leads the league with 100. Guys needing to make contact. And there's the fastball up and away. 2-2.
Well, there's a couple of options for Danny if he keeps struggling left-handed. One is hitting right-handed. The other one is spreading out and just putting it in play. It's a major overhaul to a swing in the middle of a season, but when you're standing upright like that, you have a tendency to move your head. The way you keep your head still is spreading out. And that's a good way to make contact. Pretty good throw over right there. It takes a lot of the movement out of your swing. You spread your legs out. You get into like a little crouch, not pronounced, and you just put the ball in play. Easy to say up here, hard to make that adjustment down there, but you feel like one of those two things has to happen for Danny to stay in the lineup. He's so valuable at second base with his defense.
2-2, and that's right down the middle. The Nats strand 6 runners today, and they have a 3-0 lead. Same situation, and Soriano was mentioned, facing 2, 3, and 4. Bottom 9. A few. It's up to Soriano to make that happen. He'll face Ruggiano, Rizzo, and Castro in search of his 19th save of the year.
But you want to see some what I think are all-star numbers? Check these out. 33rd appearance. The ERA 1.13. 18 for 20 in save opportunities. 30 strikeouts, just 10 walks. And look what the opponents are hitting against the fastball cutter slider combination of Rafael Soriano.
Justin Ruggiano, 1 for 3 career against Soriano, checking the first of our 3 matchups this inning. Ruggiano 0 for 2 with a walk today, robbed by Denard Span in the ivy, literally. Fastball up. Danny Espinosa stays into play second base. That ball hit hard to center. Span going back. Yeah, he's going to catch it.
Was there ever a doubt?
When I heard the crack, and then I was reassured. What a good jump.
The reason he's made these adjustments today on the fly is because as a center fielder, you're not used to the ball moving on you. It usually stays straight. If you play on the corners, the ball sliced toward the line or hooked toward the line. But with the wind blowing from right to left today, Denard has had to make some adjustments in center field. And right there, I've seen guys fall down on that. Very athletic play by Span.
Anthony Rizzo, 1 for 1 career against Soriano. Robbed of a base hit by Ian Desmond on a challenge back in the 6th. Hey, that was important. That would have been 2 on 2 out with Starlin Castro coming up in a 1-0 game. Matt Williams won the challenge. The inning was over. Gio would pitch another. Get the bullpen set up with Clippard and Soriano. Mike Estabrook says that's a swing, and the count's 0-2.
Check it out from the side. What do you think? Mike Estabrook saying we got a doubleheader today. That's a swing.
That is close. And just foul. Soriano challenged him with 93 over the plate, up a bit. Nationals trying to win their 42nd game of the year, break a 3-game losing streak, and even this trip at 3-3. And that went out to center. Here comes Denard Span. One out away from the first win of this series. And Starlin Castro stands in the way. He's faced Soriano once, line out, 0 for 1 career. And there's a very real opportunity for Soriano to have well over 20 saves by the All-Star break. Sitting on 18 right now. And that's the slider high in the zone for a strike.
Well, you and I noticed Gio Gonzalez getting off the bus in Milwaukee. A more focused Gio Gonzalez. You know, usually on his game day, you can't really tell. You know, the happy-go-lucky guy, always smiling, talking to everybody. It was a different Gio in Milwaukee, and it was a different Gio here today.
Another slider. It's perfect.
Almost like he's on a mission after he came off the DL to prove that what happened before was a fluke.
We believe.
That ball had some serious cut to it at 93.
Here's the 0-2. Slider for the strikeout. And the Nats win it. 2 hours and 42 minutes. A very efficient 10th shutout of the year by the Washington pitching staff. A 3-hitter by Gio, Tyler, and Rafael.
Well, it's the second consecutive 3-0 win for Gio Gonzalez. That was the score in Milwaukee. He did it here again today. And Denard Span's defense, offense, and everything he did